of the pituitary gland. The applied effect: if the size of the pituitary gland is enlarged, most common it is the benign tumor. That is known as the pituitary adenoma. If the size increases, it creates the symptom which is divided into the general and the specific symptom. General symptoms. This general symptom is due to the compression of the surrounding structures. Compression of surrounding structures. For example, if it compresses the center of the optic chiasma, center of the optic chiasma is compressed by this pituitary gland, it leads to the bitemporal heminopia. Bitemporal heminopia. In this, temporal vision of the temporal field of the vision of both eye will be the loss. It will discuss in the optic nerve case. This bitemporal heminopia. What is the bitemporal? Generally, it is the loss of the bitemporal vision. That term is known as the bitemporal heminopia, and this is due to the compression of the optic chiasma, central part. Now, if this pituitary tumor, pituitary adenoma, enlarged pituitary gland, compress the cavernous sinus, and structures present in it, that is the third, fourth and the sixth cranial nerve, it results into the ophthalmoplasia. Ophthalmoplasia we have discussed in the cavernous sinus also. Now, if this pituitary tumor compress the hypophyseal fossa, there is enlargement in its size, sella turcica, and in the X-ray it is the ballooning of sella turcica. General symptoms: this is due to compression, either optic nerve or the cavernous sinus or the hypophyseal fossa. Ballooning of the sella turcica. It may compress the third ventricle. As a result of which, there is a chances of increase the intracranial pressure. When it compresses the third ventricle, it obstructs the flow of the CSF, and as a result of which, there is chances of increase the intracranial pressure. So these are the general symptoms. Now the specific symptoms. This is due to the involvement of either adenohypophysis or the neurohypophysis. In case of the adenohypophysis, if the acidophilic cells are affected, then there is chance of release of excess of growth hormone. Growth hormone secretion increased by the pituitary adenohypophysis, and this leads to the acromegaly or gigantism in case of the acidophilic cells affected. Now in case of the basophilic cells, of this adenohypophysis is affected, there is a increase in the secretion of the ACTH. from the adrenal gland, and this leads to the Cushing syndrome. Cushing syndrome. Now, in case of this posterior lobe is affected, this posterior lobe, which is stored the two hormones, that is the oxytocin and the vasopressin, in case of the antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin, secretion is inhibited, it leads into the diabetes insipidus. Diabetes insipidus, because these antidiuretic hormones acts on the distal convoluted tubules plus collecting duct of the nephron and increase the permeability of the water, absorption, reabsorption of the water. In its deficiency, they are not permeable to the water, and as a result of which it is the diabetes insipidus. Diabetes insipidus. Sometimes this pituitary tumor, pituitary adenoma, is enlarged in size and compress the hypothalamus. Compress the hypothalamus. As a result of which, that is the Froehlich syndrome. In this syndrome, it is affect the satiety center, present in the hypothalamus. As a result of which, it is the obesity. So this is about the applied aspect of the pituitary tumor. Thank you.